As you know, I am off medications and I have been for some time. I have a healthy tendency to overkill my points, and I will be doing so in the next week or so. Today's 5/9. We'll do it to 5/16. And the overkill will come in where I will ask other people what they think about my behavior as compared to previous videos, how I comport myself. It should be rather disconcerting to many of you that I feel the need to ask other people when it is self-evident, and I have already displayed a profound ability to look inside myself and practice introspection and retrospection as well. So let me address the key points of this video, show you some books that I will be reading, and some foreshadowing as to what I will be going over in the future.
So, to minimize the chances of communism turning on us, these planners not only have avoided frightening the animal with any overt moves which it might mistakenly view as a threat to itself, but they've done everything possible to keep the beast fed, comfortable, and content. It's in our own interest, they say, to see that communist regimes remain reasonably stable. If they need wheat or other agricultural commodities, send it to them. If they need industrial know-how, invite their scientists and engineers to tour our factories so they can learn how best to produce. If they still can't manufacture the goods they need, then send our own people over there to build their plants and set up their production lines. If that doesn't work, then sell the products to them on easy credit terms and don't really expect to get paid. In fact, if they need money, give that to them too. Give them anything they need so they won't become restless and aggressive. And yes, as harsh as it may seem on the surface, it's even in our best interest to see that communist regimes can successfully put down internal anti-communist revolts.
All right, so that was G. Edward Griffin from The Grand Design, The Hidden Plan That Shapes U.S. Foreign Policy. I will be putting that link in the comments. And as you can see, this was made a long time ago, and you see this going on today. The communist regime of China and North Korea, and you see that we are placating them instead of trying to dictate policy to them or trying to overcome them because of assured mutual destruction from nuclear bombs and other weapons. So I've gone over the psychological operations in the U.S. Guerrilla Warfare Handbook, as well as the communications and the guerrilla wars. All wars are unconventional. All warfare is unconventional warfare these days, first and foremost. And our plan is to apply the Hegelian principle and to meet the Eastern world, Eastern Europe and the Far East halfway. That is the communist nations, the socialist nations. And you will see that coming into play as well. Now, the nations that we do not fear, the theocratic nations, the Islamic world, we do not feel the need to placate them, as you can imagine. Now, I'm going to play you a clip from Colin Ross, his speech in Toronto.
So, a lot of these LSD and other experiments were funded jointly by the CIA, by the Public Health Service, and by the Masons, basically, through the Scottish Rite.
So the Masons, so the Masons through the Scottish Rite funded MKUltra, the mind control experiments. Now, this is from What's to Come. Colin Ross, the CIA doctors. Colin Ross, military mind control. Okay. He received his MD from the University of Alberta in 1981 and completed his specialty training in psychiatry at the University of Manitoba in 1985. Okay, so He's a psychiatrist, and he's been researching these things for quite some time. He's even gone over the MKUltra documents on site. So he's one of the leading experts in this field. That's why I bought his book, and I play his clips, and they show you that yes, the Masons are involved. They've been involved with mind control for a long time. They're concerned with keeping the order. Now, the drugging that has gone on, the covert drugging that I am going to evade, is what you would expect. They're all drugging us all to a certain degree. That's why there's tamper-evident technology. That's why the FDA regulates foods and drugs to try to determine what drugs are conducive to public policy and social policy and the agendas therein, and which ones aren't. Now, also they wish to put you on drugs, so psychiatric assessments are going to be needed to buy guns in more and more states. It's going to be a federal law. They already have 5150 in California, which takes away people's gun rights before they even see a medical professional based on the judgment of a law enforcement officer or a psychologist, not even a psychiatrist, no one who's qualified to make such a judgment. So I urge you all to check out my interviews playlist on my James Jackson channel and my most damning videos playlist on my Sid Jackson channel, this channel. And of course, my new playlist, I'm going to put it up on the homepage, where it's going to talk about, I haven't determined the title yet, but it's basically going to say something about, you know, superior presentation, or presented after addressing stress, nutrition, and environmental factors. Since I can't really address the cultural factors, I can, however, tone down the aspects of my personal culture when I'm presenting myself to others, and to try to limit it to my martial arts practice, which disgusts me. But for the sake of bringing in solutions to the problem of them trying to set me up, I'm willing to do that. I'm not going to compromise with these people. Nothing has changed about my philosophies, and I still think, in fact, I know psychiatry is an abomination to God, and is one of the most despicable pseudosciences man has ever unveiled. It's also important to note that women have betrayed me, and that took the biggest toll on me. So part of the environmental factors I will be addressing are also social factors, psychological factors, including women. You know, I'm going to maintain my oath, and I'm not going to pursue any conversations with any attractive women that I think have even the slightest chance of causing me distress or stress. So, and also I'm going to address the nutrition. So after I address the stress and the nutrition and the environmental factors, and avoid covert drugging, and even change the clothes I wear for my videos, you will see that I will change my behavior accordingly. So part of my argument is even your clothes can help determine what kind of mood you're in. You know, your music, your clothes, how you picture yourself. Right now I'm thinking of myself as a civilized person. I'm wearing a suit and tie. And so my behavior will reflect this. Okay, so I'm not racist. The people whose philosophy is to maintain the order and not care about human life or anything else, you know, are the racists. They don't care about, you know, the races that they're oppressing by upholding their Judeo-European power structure. And it is the way of the state to ignore the pain of humanity and to maintain the order at all costs. Capital punishment, though I agree with capital punishment when it is applied correctly, it has been applied in a very despicable manner historically, and it is part of the incompassionate state, the state's lack of compassion, rather. Their indifference, their insecurity, because their philosophies make them narcissistic, sadistic, demonic, and it basically makes them eugenicists as well. Just like being a card at a concentration camp makes one a Nazi. So this is the first of my videos on my playlist, days 5/9/2016. This is a social experiment because I will be including other people's opinions about my behavior in my results, and then I will derive a conclusion from that. Thank you. This video speaks for itself, and anyone with any understanding of the government and covert operations knows very well that it proves that not only they've been talking about this, but they've been doing it covertly and illegally, and the discussion is about whether it should be made legal, and if everyone should be subjected to it, not just political dissidents and the like.
The constitutional journey did not stop then, and it must not stop now, Judge. And we'll be faced with equally consequential decisions in the 21st century. Can a microscopic tag be implanted in a person's body to track his every movement? There's actual discussion about that. You will rule on that, mark my words, before your tenure is over. Can brain scans be used to determine whether a person is inclined toward criminality or violent behavior? You will rule on that. And Judge, I need to know whether you will be a justice who believes that the constitutional journey must continue to speak to these consequential decisions, or that we've gone far enough in protecting against government intrusion into our autonomy, into the most personal decisions we make. Judge, that's why this is a critical moment. There are elected officials in this government, such as Mr. DeLay, a fine, honorable, patriotic man, and others, who have been unsuccessful at implementing their agenda in the elected branches. So they've now poured their energies, as the left would if it were different, they've now poured their energies and resources into trying to change the court's view of the